This ailing mom says her son took advantage of her and lost her car. Johannan says he only took his mom's car to keep it safe for her while she was sick, and it's really her fault he got so many tickets. He says she refused to give him the information he needed to register the car, so it was ticketed and towed.
All right, tell me what happened.
I had gotten ill, so nearly to death. So I had given my son everything, but I told him he could borrow my car for school, but I did not give it to him. So in the meantime, while I'm in the hospital, he acquires all these tickets, so that I didn't know nothing about it. The tickets didn't come to the hospital.
Your Honor, first of all, this is my mom. I've always helped my mom. I've always been behind my mom. Whatever's going on, I've always been there for my mom.
That's why you only seen me twice in a year.
I was in Wisconsin teaching a football camp out in Wisconsin. When I heard she was in the hospital, when they told me I quit my job. I quit my job and spent the money that I had to move back home to Akron to take care of my mom. Right there, that day, I quit my job, spent that money on the airplane, catching the bus, and catching the taxi to get home.
I gave that back to you.
To get home.
You
to
know.
get my mom. The doctor told me that she had cirrhosis of the liver that was terminal stage. She would not be coming home, and it was my job to decide whether what happened if she would go to hospice or get surgery. When I was down there, I worked a night shift job to get my mom, to get money to move my mom's stuff out of her house.
So you never visited her?
I visited my mom all the time. Whenever it was an issue, it came to me because I was next of kin. I always had to be there to talk to the nurses.
So now you've moved to be in the same city where she is?
I came back home when she was sick. I came back home. I go to school.
Just a second. Are you and Mrs. Terrell still married?
Yes, we are, unfortunately.
You are. But are you separated?
Separated.
And how long have you been you've been separated for 18 years?
Common law divorce.
All right, now let's get back to the situation with the car.
Right. I brought the car down to Columbus. I did not have an apartment on Columbus because, like I said, I was in Wisconsin over the summer. I did not have an apartment, and I stayed with my friend on campus. And on campus, there is nowhere to park. So I had to park her car on the street. I checked up on it every day. It was fine. But it got close to her birthday. I said, Mom, you know, your tags are about to expire, and you cannot have a car on the street when the tags expire. 23 tickets were put on the car after her birthday.
All right. How many tickets were put on the car before her birthday?
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tickets put on the car.
Okay, so 5 tickets. And you acknowledge that those were tickets that you're responsible for?
I took responsibility for those.
Okay, so now are we talking about 5 tickets and then 23 tickets?
Then 23 tickets after her birthday, all for failed registration.
All right, and you're telling me that the reason you couldn't get the registration is because your mother would not provide the paperwork.
She would temporarily have to put me in power of attorney to get tags for her car.
I understand.
She did not want to do that. She said, I'm not putting you in power of attorney.
All right, Ms. Terrell, let me ask you. Did your son come to you and say, look, Mom, if I don't get the power of attorney to get the tags straightened out, we're going to continue to get tickets?
He didn't mention, I'm the one who told him about the power of attorney. That's after I came out the hospital.
What I want you to listen to me and answer just this question is whether or not your son asked for the registration, and why didn't you give him the paperwork so he could get the tags renewed?
For one, I didn't have them on me. The second, I had told him he wasn't going to keep my car. So I figured if they're going to take my registration.
You thought they were going to try to take your car?
I offered to bring her car back.
No, that's what I
told her. I offered. I said, Mom, if you give me those tags, because I was not driving this car.
Title.
I said, if I can get these tags, I will bring the car back to you.
I believe after hearing the testimony today that you are acting responsibly. I am going to have you be responsible for those 5 tickets. But in terms of the balance of the tickets, Ms. Terrell, and I want you to really understand me on this, that it is my ruling in this court that your son did not act irresponsibly and just leaving the car different places and getting parking tickets. He is going to pay for all the tickets up to December, but I am not going to make this young man responsible for the tickets after December. I'm satisfied that there was a payment made on the long distance calls. I'm satisfied that these calls basically were incurred to do family members, and so other than the amount of the tickets up until December, I am going to have you be responsible for only that amount. Nothing further, will stand adjourned.
You can stay.
I want you to sit down. Come on. I want to talk to you. Will you just listen for a minute? Well, just wait for a minute. Just wait for a minute. Wait for a minute. Wait a minute. The few $100s that we're talking about on these tickets in the car is not worth you being apart from your son. You need each other. He needs you, and you need him.
He know I love him.